Hi, I'm Chief Deputy Jon Scowden with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
And I'm Carrie Gutowski. I'm an attorney with Clemans Nelson. 3 years ago, Jon and I got together to develop a training called Recognize and Respond: Police Interactions with Individuals with Autism Spectrum Disorder. I'm interested in this training because I've been a civil rights attorney my entire legal career and because I have a 6-year-old son with autism.
And I'm interested in this training because I've been a law enforcement professional for almost 30 years, and I have a 25-year-old son who is also autistic.
Individuals with autism are 7 times more likely to come into contact with police officers than the general population. This is driven in part by the fact that many of their unusual behaviors are commonly mistaken for criminal behavior.
In our training with law enforcement officers, we talk about 4 main calls where they could deal with an autistic individual. Those calls are traffic stops, missing or wandering, domestic violence, or suspicious persons. What we ask them to do is to consider that it could be autism rather than as an alternative to criminal conduct.
To increase the likelihood of a safe and successful interaction with an individual with autism, law enforcement officers should make accommodations for the unique sensory characteristics of individuals with autism. Because of the unique way their brain functions, individuals with autism have unique sensory characteristics. Specifically, lights may be painfully bright, sounds may be gratingly and overwhelmingly loud, and a light, unexpected touch may trigger a fight or flight response.
Due to these issues, we teach law enforcement to reduce sensory inputs. They can do this by turning off lights, turning down their radios, and moving the individual to a more quiet space. We also tell them to stay calm themselves and make sure that they model the behavior that they would like to see from the individual.
Individuals with autism often engage in a behavior called stimming. Stimming is just repetitive body movement such as hand flapping, pacing, or humming or groaning, just to name a few. Although it might not look like it, these behaviors help the individual stay calm.
We teach the law enforcement officers that stimming is a good thing and to allow it to happen unless it's a safety concern for the individual, the officer, or for someone else.
Individuals with autism often have unique ways of communicating. They often process speech more slowly, and so it takes them longer to understand and respond. Their speech may be slower or slurred, they may have difficulty following directions, and they also may have difficulty with eye contact. They may repeat what's been just said to them, or recite lines from their favorite books, movies, or TV shows. This is known as scripting. They also may literally interpret speech, which means they'll have difficulty understanding figures of speech, sarcasm, and jokes.
Because autistic individuals don't typically understand the social role of a law enforcement officer, we ask that our law enforcement officers state the obvious and tell them who they are. We also ask them to address the autistic individual themselves. Also, we ask them to not ask leading questions, speak slowly and articulately, and then when they are asking questions, to state the question and then wait for the answer.
Lastly, and most importantly, the goal of this training is to help officers recognize, respond, and communicate with individuals with autism spectrum disorder.
This in turn enhances community relationships and the safety of one of our most vulnerable populations that we serve.